Hey everyone, hope it's well. My name is Jimmy Fung and welcome to day one of the 5-day challenge. It's called the 5 days to $10,000 challenge. So on today's video, we'll be breaking down everything you need to know about what a lead generation agency actually is, what you need to know in order to succeed, why making $10,000 per month in the next 90 days is actually easier than you might think, and then we will go over into setting up the cold email infrastructure. So if you're watching this video and you have no clue who I am or what this challenge is about, down below, I included a link to subscribe into the newsletter so that you could get updates onto this challenge. But essentially, at a high level, what this challenge is it is just a small challenge that I put together because I talk on my YouTube channel a lot about building a lead generation agency. And I figured I will make a free resource, a 5-day resource, which is 5 different videos talking about what exactly you need to do in order to start and get your own lead generation agency from $0 to $10,000 per month in the next 90 days. So hope you find this video valuable. Hope you enjoyed the rest of this challenge, and I'll see you on day 2. Thank you. See ya. How's it going? Welcome to day 1 of the challenge of the 5-day to $10,000 challenge. So in today's video, it's obviously the day 1. We will be talking about how to make $10,000 every single month by simply sending emails for businesses. And obviously in this challenge, I'll be breaking down how I was able to make $57,000. This is actually a screenshot of my own Stripe of how much money I've made in the month of January, so like 2 months ago. And last month in April, I actually had a day where I made $10,000 in a single day by using this exact same business model. And in my opinion, this is the fastest path to making thousands of dollars online. And again, right, it's by building a lead generation business. It's not drop shipping. It's not building an SMMA. It's not by doing copywriting or affiliate marketing. I think it's by building a lead generation agency. And if you stick to the end of this video, you're gonna understand why I think this is the best business model for beginners, for people who have no prior business experience, and why it is the business model that will make it the most likely for them to actually make money online and for them to make it to $10,000 a month, right? So obviously, again, welcome to day 1 of the 5-day challenge to making $10,000 with your own lead generation agency. Each day for the next 5 days, I will be releasing a full in-depth guide, in-depth video, going over everything that you need to know, going over everything that I personally know of how I went from 0 towards building a business that is consistently making me over $50,000 a month. And by the end of these 5 days, you will know everything you need in order to build and sustain a lead generation business that will allow you to get to your first $10,000 a month. And that has allowed me to make $50,000 plus every single month. And following what you're about to learn in the next 5 days, you will have access to the exact same strategies, the exact same frameworks, the exact same insights, and the exact same thesis that will allow you to make $10,000 per month in the next 90 days or more without having any clients to begin with. So this will work if you don't have any clients right now, without you knowing how to sell and fulfill on the service. If you know absolutely nothing about the lead generation business right now, that's fine. You're able to do this without having tens of thousands of dollars to invest. So if you don't have, $10,000 just chilling in your bank account right now, that's completely fine as well. You don't need to know how to build teams or have any systems in place. That's completely fine. And this is also for you, and this can help you if you're struggling to build and predictably land your first few clients. Maybe you started your own business, you started your own lead generation agency, you're trying to get it off the ground, you don't have any clients right now, you're just learning the ropes, learning how everything works. This is for you as well. And you're able to do this, and it doesn't matter if you haven't made your first $10,000 per month, if you haven't seen success or much success with other previous business models that maybe you've tried before. It doesn't matter if you don't have any previous sales experience. It doesn't matter if you don't yet have your first clients. And it also doesn't matter if you just don't know where to start yet. Because over the next 5 days, I will be sharing with you everything I've learned about building a lead generation agency, and there will be zero gatekeeping. So here's what we'll be covering kind of as an agenda over the next 5 days. So day 1, which is obviously today, I'll be talking about what a lead generation agency is and what it is and how you can make money, what it takes to actually succeed with this business model. And then we will be going over how to set up the email infrastructure. So how to set up the domains and the email accounts, the very first thing that you want to do if you want to make money and you don't want to spend half a year until you sign your first client. In day 2, which will take place 2 days from now on May 3rd. We'll be talking about niching down and scraping leads. Day 3, which will happen on May 5th, we'll be talking about how to craft an offer, how to craft cold emails, and build your VSL. Day 4, which will take place on May 7th, we'll be talking about sales. And then finally, on day 5, which is the last day of this challenge, we'll be talking about service delivery and scale. And throughout these 5 days, throughout all of these videos, I have included an action step, so pretty similar to what you see right now, which will help you take action and understand what you actually need to do to move one step closer towards starting your first client, right? So as an action step right now, I want you to pause this video. I want you to go grab a coffee, grab a pen, grab a notebook, and take some notes, because this will be extremely actionable. And I promise you, if you follow everything I share with you and you listen to all the steps that I tell you to do, you will make money by the end of this 5-day challenge. It's pretty hard not to, right? And again, right, take action after this video, because it doesn't matter if you're just grinding through this video and you're just absorbing all the information and you just don't take action, because you're just not gonna make any money, because no progress is gonna be made. So using what we're going to cover in the next 5 days, here are just some of the people that I'm working with. They are starting their own lead generation agencies, and using what we are covering over the next 5 days, they're making a lot of money, right? So we have Brian, and if you look at the dates, these are all pretty recent. So right now is May 2024. Brian, one of the people I'm working with, he did this process in February, so like 2 or 3 months ago, and he was able to collect $3,000, so 2.5K USD setup plus $300 per call. He was making $11,000 in January, right? He's getting some more wins. This happened in March. We have Michael, who closed out his second month at $13,000. This took place in December, so roughly 5 months ago. He was at 3 months, his first month using this process, building this business, and his month 2, he was at $13,000. We have Kevin. I actually have an interview with him on my YouTube channel. You could go look at this video right here, where he was able to go from 0 to 9.5K in literally a month, in literally 30 days, using this exact infrastructure. We have Tyler, who I also have an interview with, who using this process, he was able to go from 0 to $6,000 in basically a month as well, in 28 days. This took place in March, so like 2 months ago. We have Chino, who I also have an interview with on my YouTube channel, right? He's from the Philippines, and he was able to land his first client for, I think it was like $2,000 in less than a month of starting his own business. So I have a lot of different just case studies of people using this process who are just making money. You could go and pause this video and read through some of these, but I just have countless of these case studies and people who are using this exact same process, just making thousands of dollars, because I personally believe it is the easiest and most simplest business model for complete beginners to make money online. So if you're new here, here is my story. So my name is Jimmy Fung, and back in 2018, I was actually working at McDonald's for $15 an hour. I was making the minimum wage here in Canada. I'm from Toronto, Canada, by the way. And I was making the minimum wage. I was flipping burgers at McDonald's. And while I was doing that, I actually ended up in $15,000 in credit card debt. So if you're watching this video and you're in debt, trust me, I know how it feels, right? It's super stressful. I couldn't sleep at night because the burden of the debt was just really, really tough. And this was credit card debt. This wasn't even like the student debt that I had and all of that stuff. This was high interest credit card debt with like 25% interest rates. So super, super stressful. This took place in 2020 to 2022 while I was working at McDonald's. And then in December 2022, as I was building my business, my own lead generation agency, I actually experienced my first real win. So a little bit more background context, I actually started my own lead generation agency in October 2022. And basically 2 months after that, so 60-ish days into starting my own business, I was at $10,000 a month. I was at 10.5K. And this is just a screenshot of my Stripe because I was super, super excited that I got to 10K in basically 60-ish days. And I did that in December 2022. In February 2023, so basically around 4-ish months after I started my business, I was at $20,000 per month. I closed the month at $23,000 in a single month. This was actually my Twitter that I made this tweet. I just wrote, checking my Stripe balance today, 23K cash collected in the last 28 days. So I was super excited for that. I posted this tweet on February 28th, 2023 from Toronto, Ontario. And basically for the rest of 2023, basically my first year just running my business, I was able to travel the world while running my business. And throughout the full year of 2023, I actually took home a little bit over $300,000 in a single year. So that's a little bit over 25K per month on average, right? So here is a picture of me. This was taken in Osaka, Japan. Absolutely beautiful place. This was me in October of 2023. I took this in Santorini, Greece, another very beautiful place. So I was actually just traveling the world and I was making money as well while doing that. And it was just a really great feeling. And then after that, I started hitting consistent 50K months. So by the end of 2023, so roughly a year after starting, I hit $55,000. So if we look at this, right? So I actually could not find the screenshot of me hitting my first 50K month. But as we can see, so from January 1st, this is in 2024, right? So January 2024, I made $57,000 in a single month. The month prior, so in December 2023, so around a year after starting my business, I was making $55,000 in a single month. So across these 2 months, I collected over $100,000 cash for my businesses, right? So I'm not showing you this to flex. I'm actually showing you this so that you can see that this is real. Because I know when I was first starting business, I didn't even think this was possible. I didn't think making $10,000, $20,000, 30, 40, 50 plus $1,000 a month was possible in business. And I am living proof that it is possible. I'm just a regular guy. I'm 23-year-old living in Canada. And literally just 18 months ago, 1.5 years ago, a year and a half ago, I didn't even think that I'd be able to build a business which not only just covers all of my bills, but also allows me to buy just random things like buy fancy watches, go on vacations and things like that, while also making thousands of dollars while I just, go and travel the world. And I did this all by sending emails for businesses, right? So if you're curious about how I was able to do this, the specific business that I leveraged that allowed me to make all of this money, I actually built a lead generation agency. And if you're curious about what that is, I want to first ask you a question. And I want you to really just stop and think about this. How do businesses go and find new customers to sell their services to? How do they actually do that? And I want you to stop and think about that answer right now. How do they go and get new customers? Well, the answer is there's a bunch of different ways that businesses can go out and find new customers. But one of the best ways for B2B businesses, for businesses that sell their products or services to other businesses, is to leverage cold outreach to other businesses. Meaning what they're doing is they're reaching out to other businesses who do not know them, and they're essentially just pitching their services to them, right? And here's a picture of Jordan Belfort. This is one of my favorite movies, Wolf of Wall Street, where Jordan is cold calling random people to sell, I think he was selling penny stocks in the movie, right? But he picked up the phone and just started cold calling random people, right? So that is what cold outreach is. And obviously, as part of cold outreach, there's a bunch of different channels that could be used to reach out to cold traffic. But some of the most popular channels include cold emails, includes cold calls, so what Jordan Belfort is doing, and it includes cold DMs over social media. Those are kind of the key and the most popular channels for cold outreach. But for the purposes of what we're talking about here today, we will only be focusing on cold emails. Why? Well, because cold emails is extremely effective for B2B businesses, right? So again, B2B businesses are businesses that sell the products or services to other businesses. We're not working with B2C. We're not working with realtors or gyms or stuff like that, businesses that sell to regular consumers. We're working with businesses that sell their products or services to another business. And for those type of business, for B2B businesses, cold emails is extremely effective. This is actually a screenshot of a statistic I found on Google, which says cold emailing is one of the most effective tactics in a B2B salesperson's arsenal. 71% of buyers actually want to hear from sellers when they're exploring a new product or idea, because cold emailing works extremely well. And obviously, the next picture I got was I went on ChatGPT, leveraging just some AI in 2024. I asked it, what is a lead generation agency in simple terms? And the answer I got was a lead generation agency is a company that helps other businesses find potential customers who are interested in their products who are interested in their services. They use various methods like online advertising, telemarketing, blah, 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 to collect information about these potential customers and then provide that information to the businesses for them to reach out to and for them to make sales. So that's the ChatGPT AI answer for what a lead generation agency is, but that doesn't really tell us what that is, right? So just to summarize, as a lead generation agency, as a lead generation business, what you'll be doing is you'll be helping businesses find potential new customers or potential new clients by generating them qualified sales calls. And we will be using cold emails to do this, right? Again, right? We know that cold emails work really, really well. So what essentially we're doing is we're using cold emails to find customers for our clients, for different businesses. And if you're watching this video and you're questioning this, or you're telling yourself, oh, I've tried other business models in the past and just never made money. I've tried dropshipping and I lost money. I've tried building an SMMA, a social media marketing agency, or I tried copywriting and I spent 4 months and I didn't make a single dollar. How is this any different? Well, according to Google, there are more than 3 million B2B businesses in the US alone, right? And these 3 million businesses generate trillions of dollars in revenue annually, right? And if we were able to expand this to outside of just the US, so if we looked at Canada, which is where I'm from, if we look at Canada, we look at UK, we look at Australia, we look at New Zealand, there are millions more of other B2B businesses. So the reason why I'm explaining this to you is because there are quite literally tens of millions of B2B businesses that exist online, that exist around the world. And every single one of them needs this service. Every single one of those millions of B2B businesses needs lead generation as a service, right? And the reason why is because every single business owner wakes up every single day with the goal of getting more customers and more clients for their business. Every single one of these businesses need more customers. Every single one of these 3 million B2B businesses needs new customers. And what you're doing is you're helping them get more customers by generating them sales calls and sales opportunities. So all of them, they have this massive problem and you're providing a solution. And another image that I took just to back this up and reinforce this point. A company's most valuable asset is its customers, because without them, they're out of business. That's pretty straightforward. If businesses don't get more customers, they're just not going to make money and they'll eventually close down the shop, shut down, close the doors, and kind of just go out of business. So regardless of the economy, regardless of worldwide events, regardless of wars, regardless of anything that can happen, every business will still need more customers. And what you're doing is you're providing these businesses with exactly what they want. And there's over 3 million B2B businesses in the USA alone, meaning this number is significantly higher if you add in Canada, you add in Europe, and major English-speaking countries. But like everything else, this business model, building a lead generation agency, is not for everybody, right? So I actually found this DM from Instagram. So he actually became someone who ended up working with me, but he asked me, what is the cons with a lead generation agency? And I told him that if you hate sales, this is not for you, right? And aside from that, there's not really any cons. So again, right, this business model, building a lead generation agency, this is not for you if you just hate sales. If you dread the idea of talking to people, this is not for you. And if you want to make money without talking to anyone, or if you want to make money while remaining faceless, then this is not for you, right? Then, that's why a lot of people like other business models such as dropshipping or, YouTube automations, because they like the idea where they're able to create a business and make money without showing face. But, every business model has its pros and cons, right? And I think for this specific business model as a lead generation agency, that's just not realistic and it's not possible. So how exactly does a lead generation agency work? We understand it at a high level of the service they're providing, but I put together this diagram to get a better illustration of how it actually works. So I want you to imagine a marketing agency. Let's say they're running ads for an e-commerce brand. So they are helping e-commerce stores like Gymshark or like Kylie Cosmetics or something like that. And they are running ads for that e-commerce brand, for Gymshark. So they're running ads, they're doing SEO, they're doing email marketing. How does this marketing agency find these e-commerce brands to get them as a client? Well, they're probably running, paid ads. They're relying on referrals. Maybe they're relying on word of mouth to get to these e-commerce brands. That's currently what they're doing. But as a lead generation agency, so I put an LJ over here. As a lead generation agency, you will be approaching these marketing agencies to try to land them as a client for yourself. And essentially what you're doing is you're going to be connecting these marketing agencies to these e-commerce brands using things like cold emailing, cold linking, and cold calling. But for the purpose of what we're talking about, we'll be only focusing on cold emailing. That's what I've used to build up my business from $0 to $50,000 per month. I use cold emailing, and essentially we're connecting these marketing agencies to these e-commerce brands using cold emailing, and we're making money from that. That's essentially what a lead generation agency is and how it works. So how does a lead generation agency, how do they get paid? So generally speaking, there are 3 different ways to get paid. The first way is a monthly retainer. So if you approach a random company, this marketing agency, and you're like, hey, our services cost $3,000 a month, that is a monthly retainer. Every single month, you're just making $3,000, regardless of whether you're getting them great results, you're getting them okay results, or kind of just bad results. You're still making that same $3,000. The second way to get paid is a setup fee plus a performance. So upfront, you're charging, let's say, a few $1,000s, $2,000, $2.5K, $3,000. And after that, you get paid for every single sales call that you generate. So each qualified call that you generate for your clients, you might make $200 or $300, whatever that is. And finally, the third pricing model is a monthly retainer plus performance. So kind of a combination of both, where every single month, let's say you're charging $3,000 or $4,000, and then you also charge either rev share, so revenue share, so a percent of every single closed deal, or maybe a percent of every single lead that you generate, whatever that is. So for most people who are just starting out, I strongly recommend using the setup fee plus performance pricing structure. And the reason why is because this will ensure that you're making money on the front end, because obviously we're providing a service and you don't want to be just working for free. That doesn't make sense. You don't want to be working for free. You need to be collecting money upfront. And that's why I recommend the setup fee plus the performance aspect of things will give you the opportunity to make money in the back end, to maximize your profits on the back end. For the setup fee, I recommend charging somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000 for your first few clients, and then charging any less than this. So if you're charging, $500, if you're charging $700, if you're charging $1,000, you're probably underpricing your own service, and you're just not really charging what you're worth, right? That's personally what I found. My first client I've ever signed, I charged $3,000. So use that as a benchmark. In terms of the performance, you're charging based on each sales call that you will generate for your clients. I recommend charging somewhere between $200 and $300 per call that you generate. So every single call that you bring to your clients, you're charging them $200, $250, $300. Again, my first client that I ever signed, I charged them a $3,000 setup fee and $250 per call. So for the purposes of explaining profitability, sorry, I just fumbled that word. For the purposes of explaining profitability, you should be able to earn somewhere between $2,000 and $4,000 a month from each client. So the next aspect is I kind of want to explain to you why actually making $10,000 a month with this business model is just way easier than you think, and why I kind of just think it is one of the best business models for complete beginners. Because I was able to go from $0 to $10,000 a month in basically 2 months, in 60-ish days. Why is that? And the reason why is because the numbers just work in your favor. So I don't want to go too much into details, because we will be talking about what this kind of means over the next few days, over the next 4 videos. But essentially, we know that we are generating sales opportunities using cold emails. You're using cold emails to land clients for yourself. And then once you have clients, because you generate them using cold emails, you're using the exact same cold email infrastructure that you used to land clients for yourself. And you're building that same infrastructure for your clients, and you're using cold emails to get them results as well. And if you send enough emails and you follow everything that I'll be sharing with you over the next 4 videos, over the next 5 days, there's just no way that you don't make money from this process. So here's a screenshot. You might not know what this means, but this was actually a cold email campaign that I launched in September 2023. So probably around half a year ago, right? I sent 21,000 emails. I got, 7,000 opens, so 64% open rates, and almost 1,000 replies, right? And you might not know what any of this stuff means, which is completely fine. But let me just break down the math for you. So basically, after I sent these 20,000 emails, I got these 67 positive replies. And let's say I was booking sales calls at a 50% booking rate. That meant that I generated 33 sales calls for myself, for my own business. And let's say if I was closing 25% of people, so 1 in 4 people of these 33 calls, that meant I made $8,000. And let's assume I was charging $2,000 setup fee, which is pretty conservative, because again, my first client paid me $3,000. I made $16,000, right? So using what we're about to share, hopefully you see how the numbers just kind of work in your favor. And if you do this process correctly and you follow these KPIs, it's kind of just hard for you not to make money and for you not to get to $10,000 per month, right? So you might not know what this means again, right? I don't want to just bombard you with information that you might not understand, but getting to $10,000 per month is actually relatively simple with this business model. And again, these are with highly conservative numbers with a relatively low closing rate. If you do the process correctly, so the VSL, again, you might not know what that is, but if you do this process correctly, you should be getting 40 to 50% closing rate minimum, even if you're not that great at sales or you've never taken a sales call in your life. This is also assuming that you're charging $2,000 setup. Again, my first deal was $3,000 for just a little bit more background context, right? So hopefully you see why getting to $10,000 per month is kind of just easier than you might think, because what we're doing now is I'm showing you the numbers and I'm breaking it down using just numbers and using logic, and getting to $10,000 per month is actually not it's not the beast that you think it might be. But what does it actually take to succeed, right? Because everyone just wants to make money, right? Everyone wants to make money. I've never met a single person who just doesn't want to make money, right? But what does it actually take to succeed? So before we jump into the specific tactics and jump into the specific strategies, I first want to run over what it takes to succeed and actually make money in this business. And no, this isn't going to be some generic mindset stuff. This isn't going to be me telling you, take cold showers, wake up at 5 a.m., go in monk mode, this and that. I'm not going to be talking about any of those things. Rather, I'm going to be talking about the patterns that I realized after building my own lead generation business, again, right, from $0 to $50,000 per month, and working with over 80 plus people to start and build their own lead generation business. So the very first thing is, do not look at this business model as a get rich quick scheme. So if you're watching this video, you're watching it right now, and you think that this is an opportunity for you to just get rich quick, this is not for you. If you want to get rich quick, you're just better off just going to your local convenience store, buying a lottery ticket, or maybe going to a casino or buying a random crypto coin if your goal is to get rich quick, because you will have a better chance of getting rich quick from those methods than from building a business. What we're doing is we are building a real business. And yes, while building a lead generation agency, it is extremely profitable. It is 100% not easy. It's not rocket science and it's simple, but it's 100% not easy. You're not gonna be making $10,000 a month by working 1 hour a month, right? That's just not how it works. You'll never be able to make money working 1 hour a month, right? But this is not rocket science. It's simple, but not easy. This is obviously what I think is one of the best business models for beginners due to its simplicity and the fact that you don't need thousands of dollars upfront. This is not dropshipping, this is not Amazon FBA, where you need thousands of dollars upfront to invest into inventory or invest into capital. And you also don't need to learn 20 plus different skills, because we are using the same cold email system that you're using for yourself and selling that as a service for your clients. So you're really only learning one key skill, which is how to send effective cold emails. So you don't need to learn 20 plus different skills. But if you think that you could become a millionaire in the next 3 months, in the next 60 days, in the next 100 days, then this is not for you. The second thing is the importance of taking action. So when I was first starting an online business, one of the largest mistakes that I made was thinking to myself that I just needed to learn everything, that I needed to understand every single aspect of the business in order to successfully start. And because I had this thought, I probably spent over half a year, 6+ months, just buying course after course after course, binging through YouTube video after YouTube video after YouTube video before I actually started my business. What I have done was I had fooled myself into believing that I was actually just moving the needle by watching another YouTube video. But what I realized is that the most important thing you can do to succeed with just any business is simply just starting, simply just deciding today is the day I'm gonna get started, I'm gonna take action. And taking action is not watching YouTube videos, because you will never have all the answers. That's a myth. You will never understand 100% of everything that you need. It just doesn't work like that, right? The sheer action of taking action, the sheer action of starting will resolve a bunch of your unanswered questions that you might have even just right now. And remember, taking action is the only way to actually get paid and the only way to actually just make money. And the third and final thing is understand that speed is key. And this might sound super simple, but it's actually super important. Understand that the entrepreneur who is able to move the quickest will always win. 100%. 10 times out of 10, the person who's able to just start and move quickly will beat the entrepreneur who is moving slow, because business is a sport. It's like the most competitive sport in the world, and speed is a competitive advantage. Because if you're watching this video, I'm certain that you probably do not want to spend 6+ months of you just going out on your own trying to sign your first client, because 6 months is a really long time. You're not gonna make money for 6 months. I'm sure no one watching this video wants that to happen. Ideally, everyone watching this video, you all want to sign your first few clients in the next few weeks, minimum, right? Ideally faster, right? Because you don't want to spend 6 months just doing all of this stuff and not making money, right? So in order to actually do so, you just need to move with speed. So think about it like this. Let's say there are 2 people who are trying to set up email accounts, because that's one of the things that you need to do in this business model. You're setting up these email inboxes because you're sending cold emails. And there's 2 people doing it, 2 entrepreneurs doing it. Let's say entrepreneur 1, he sets up all the email accounts in a single day. He might spend 4 or 5, maybe even 6 hours, but he does it all at once. And then person 2, the second entrepreneur, he sets up the same email accounts, but it might take him a week. It takes him 5 days, where he just spends 1 hour each day setting it up. Who do you think will win? Right? It's pretty obvious, right? Because the same activity completed by 2 different people, except one person completes the same task literally 5 times quicker. Who's gonna win, right? It's obviously gonna be person 1, because he's able to do the same amount of work just 5 times quicker. And just off this example, it's pretty obvious who will win. And the same exact concept applies inside your business. So anytime you need to do something in your business, keep in mind that the quicker you complete the task, the higher the likelihood that you will actually make money in a timely manner. So these are kind of just the 3 things that I wanted to just talk about. Again, right, I don't want to go too deep into like the mindset stuff, but these are kind of just the 3 patterns that I found that has allowed me to go from $0 to $50,000 per month in basically a year. And all the traits of people that I know that are successfully making money with the online business, they all follow these 3 things. They look at it, they provide value, they genuinely provide value for businesses, they take action all the time, they're not just sitting back watching YouTube videos and hoping for the best, and they're moving with speed. So the next step is setting up the cold email infrastructure. And at this point in the video, I think we are around 30 minutes in, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. The first thing you want to do to actually get your business off the ground, to actually start your own lead generation agency, is set up the cold email infrastructure. Because again, we are sending cold emails. Understand that volume negates luck, because at the end of the day, what we're doing is sales. This is kind of a sales business. And obviously, the more people that you're able to get in front of, the more success you're going to have. It's, just the law of numbers. So volume negates luck. And this is by far the most neglected and simple part of the business that is just ignored 99% of the time. Because again, right, this is a sales business. If you send more emails, you will get more meetings. And you get more meetings, you will be talking to more people, you will be making more pitches, and you'll be making more sales. And as a result, you'll be making more money. It's pretty basic math. And in order for us to send as many emails each day as humanly possible, you will need to set up email accounts. So what you want to do is, the very first thing you want to do is head over to porkbun.com. This is a domain provider. The other common ones include GoDaddy or Google Workspace or Namecheap. I personally use porkbun.com. I strongly suggest you do the same as well, because that's just what I use. You want to go to porkbun.com, and what you want to do is you want to set up 3 email accounts for each single domain on Microsoft Outlook 365. So you're gonna buy the domains, you're gonna host them on Porkbun, and then after that, you're gonna use Microsoft Outlook Business Basic and set up 3 email accounts for each single domain. And what I recommend is, I recommend using Microsoft Outlook and not using Google or Gmail or Google Workspace, because for Google, they actually announced that starting in February 2024, if emails are getting higher than a 0.3% bounce rate, your emails will automatically go to spam. And as of right now, Microsoft has not yet made this announcement, which is why I personally use Outlook. I also found that Outlook is a little bit easier to scale because in the beginning, when I was first starting my business, I actually used Google Workspace. And what happened is when I needed to sign into the Google account, it's gonna ask my phone number. And obviously I only have one phone. I assume most of you guys watching this have one phone as well. And I just ran into issues because, I couldn't use the same phone number for 50 email accounts, right? So here is what our front end volume looks like for my own agency. It's called SalesWay.io. I have 17 domains. Of these 17 domains, I have 50 email accounts because obviously 3 for each domain. What that means is I'm able to consistently send at least 1,500 emails per day. Meaning over the course of a month, I'm sending at least 45,000 emails every single month because again, volume negates luck, and it's damn near impossible to not book meetings sending 45,000 personalized emails every single month. Because with high volume, we give ourselves more chance to hit our dream prospects at the right time with our offer. But in order to make sure that the emails that we're setting up, they're just landing in the inbox and not actually landing in spam, there's a couple things we want to do, right? Because it's not enough to just buy these domains, buy these email accounts, and just call it a day. There's very specific things that you need to do in order to set up the email accounts to make sure that it actually works. So there's a ton of guides on Porkbun or Microsoft teaching you how to set up that process. I'm going to be walking you through that process myself as well. But essentially, you need to warm up your email accounts using smartly.ai for 14 days to ensure maximum email deliverability, right? And I'm going to be walking you through this entire process. You could pause this video and watch through this, but I'm just going to jump into Porkbun and show you how I would set up those domains. Okay, awesome. So the very first thing you want to do to set up your email accounts is go under porkbun.com. Again, this is the domain provider. You can use GoDaddy, you can use Namecheap. I personally just use Porkbun, and I'm going to be walking you through how to set up your email accounts from the beginning all the way to the end using porkbun.com. So the first thing you want to do is my main website is salesway.io. Salesway.io. This is my main domain. And for the purposes of what we're doing, you need to be buying burner domains and burner email accounts. And you can't be sending cold emails out of your main domain. Or for me, I can't be sending it out of salesway.io. And the reason why is because technically what we're doing is sales and marketing. So there's a risk that at any given moment, these accounts could get blocked, or they could get burned, or they could get blacklisted, whatever the case is. And if your main domain gets blacklisted, you're kind of just screwed, right? So you always want to be buying burner domains in order to lower that risk and to make sure that all is good. So what I did is I just went over into Porkbun. I just bought a new domain. As you can see, I have 33 domains for my own agency. This is my domain. And as you can look at all of these domains, they all look relatively similar to salesway.io, but obviously it's not the exact same because you'll only buy it once. I'm jiggling around the spelling. So this is Saleway, the sale way, the seller way, you get the point, right? And you want to do the exact same thing. Just add an extra E, remove an S, add an extra L, remove certain letters, stuff like that. That's how you want to do it. A word of caution is make sure you're buying .com domains. So the data suggests that sending cold emails with .ca or .net or .org, it has a lot worse deliverability than sending it with .com domains, which is why you see all of these are .com domains. So the very first thing is obviously for the purpose of this video, I actually bought a brand new domain because all my other domains, as you can see, they're all set up, right? There's all of these records because they're all set up the right way. So I went and I bought this domain, salewe.com. It is empty right now. And since we are connecting it to Microsoft Outlook 365, the very first thing you want to do, Porkbun makes it easy. There's a quick DNS config button. I'm just going to press Office 365. It's going to have this pop up and press OK. And it's going to set it up. Press OK again. And as we can see, it has all of these records. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy over the domain, just a record of it. I'm going to go into Microsoft 365. So I actually just set this email account up as well, this admin center. You could just go on Google and search up Microsoft 365 admin center, create an account, and create a Microsoft 365 business basic account. Do the month to month so that you don't get locked into the annual billing. And all you want to do is once you log in, this is what this will look like. Your admin center, just search up domains, domain, go under domains settings, and you're just going to press add a domain, and you're going to add in the domain that you just bought and set up on Porkbun. So I'm just going to press use this domain. It's going to be loading, and we're going to say verify your own domain. So to basically connect this Outlook 365 over into Porkbun, it's going to tell you how to do it. So I'm just going to show you as well. You're essentially going to set up a text record. I'm just going to copy this. So go under Porkbun, go back under the domain that you just bought, text record, host. I'm just going to paste this in, text value, and then the TTL was 3600, right? And I'm just going to press add, and we see it is over here at the bottom. I'm just going to press verify, and this will take a couple seconds. Okay, awesome. So it connected and it's successfully verified. Now the next page is how do you want to connect your domain? We're gonna press continue. It's gonna be loading again. Add DNS records, you're gonna press continue. It's gonna automatically do this for you. Press it again, continue, and then you're gonna press done. And it says domain connection is done. So now we see under domain.salewe.com, the one we just bought is successfully added. Now the next thing you want to do is go under users and press active users. You should see none, or the one that you will see is the one that you would use to log into this admin center account. All you want to do is press add a user, and this is assuming you have a license. So if you don't have the license, you need to go buy the license. So for every one domain, you want to set up 3 users, which means you need 3 licenses for every domain that you have. For the purpose of this example, I only bought 1 license because, you know, I already have these email accounts set up and stuff like that, but I'm just going to walk you through how to do this. For the first name, I'm just going to use my name, Jimmy Fung. What you could do is, because you're setting up 3 users, you can set it up in your name. So the 3 users I'd probably use is going to be Jimmy at salewe.com. This will be email 1. The second one might be Jim at Salewe, and the last one might be Jim.Fung, something like that. So then that way I'm able to use 3 different users all under my name. I'm just gonna press automatically create a password, require this user to change the password in the first sign. I'm gonna uncheck this, and I'm gonna create a password. I'm going to just write a random one, YouTube 123. I would, you know, don't try to log into this email account, right? But I'm going to press next. Canada, I'm going to assign a license. I'm going to press next, custom password, and I'm going to press finish adding. And that's how you want to go about doing this. And this is the email user. Okay, so after you have set up your domains on porkbun.com and you have set up your email accounts using Microsoft 365, your next step is to connect your email accounts onto smartly.ai. You can use instantly.ai as well. Essentially what you're doing is you are warming up your email accounts. You're ramping them up, because you wouldn't be able to just buy a bunch of email accounts and just start blasting cold emails from day one. That's just not how it works. What you need to do is you need to slowly ramp up your email accounts over the course of 14 days. That way, after the 14 days, on day 15, when you launch your cold emails, they will just land in the inbox right away. And the way we do that is by leveraging a tool like smartlead.ai. It's very important that you do this. And the reason I'm talking about it right now in day 1 of the day 5 challenge is because this process, again, it takes 14 days. So the longer it takes you to set this up, the longer it will take you to actually send out emails, the longer it will take you to get replies, to get booked meetings, and to sign your first client. So it's super important you do this first. So once you have a SmartLead account, you want to go under email accounts. This is what this will look like. You're just going to press Outlook. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy the email account that we just set up. I'm going to refresh this, and I'm just going to copy it over. Because we're going to be signing in with this account. Oops. And then we're going to use the password that we just generated. It's going to ask permission requested. You're just going to press accept. And that's basically it. It will automatically connect onto SmartLead. We see that it says email connection success. You're gonna just press OK. Go over into warm-up, and you're just gonna enable the warm-up. Press enable warm-up, and that's basically what you wanna do. So say your mailbox will soon start receiving warm-up emails. That's all you need to do, and you're good to go. So this process does take 14 days, and that's exactly what you want to do to set up the email accounts. What you also want to keep in mind is you should also set up the website forwarding inside the domain at Porkbun. You can add in a profile picture under the Outlook as well to get better results. But overall, this is exactly how you would set up the email accounts. You would buy a domain, you're connected to Microsoft Admin Center, and you would connect it over into SmartLead. Okay, awesome. So just to wrap things up, in today's video, we kind of just talked about what a lead generation agency is. We talked about kind of just the unspoken rules for what it takes to actually succeed and make money with this business. In the next video, in day 2 of this challenge, we'll be going over exactly how to pick an industry and pick a niche to sell to. We will also be talking about how to build your leads list of decision makers. So kind of as action steps, because again, I wanted to make this challenge, this 5-day challenge, as actionable as possible so that you actually take action and actually make money. So the very first thing you need to do is think of a business name, and don't spend more than 10 or 15 minutes max doing this because it's just really not that important and you don't need the perfect business name. Just spend 10 to 15 minutes max thinking of a business name. After you think of your business name, I want you to head over to porkbun.com and buy 15 burner domains that are similar to your main domain, your main website, right? Or your main business name. After that, go to Microsoft Admin Center, and I want you to set up 45 email inboxes, 45 email accounts with the 15 burner domains that you literally just bought from Porkbun. And then I want you to connect these 45 email accounts onto smartlead.ai and start the warming process. And just as a word of caution, this entire process will probably take you somewhere between maybe 4 to 5 hours to complete, right? And that's because you probably don't know what you're doing. It might be challenging for you or whatever the case is, but you still need to do this. And again, remember the thing that I talked about earlier, that speed is key. There are people who are able to do this, set up all 45 of these email accounts, set up all 15 of these domains, and do it all in one day. They just sit there for 4 or 5 hours and do the whole thing all at once. And there are people who will take 2 weeks just to set up 10 domains and 30 email accounts. Don't be the second guy, because again, speed is very important. And if you want to make money, it's very important that you do this as quick as you can. So that's pretty much it for day 1. Hope you found this video valuable. If you do, stay tuned for day 2, which will be coming out on May 3rd, 2 days from now. All right, see ya. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.